Coming up on today's show, I've got 5 changes, some very particular, condensed down, some more big picture stuff that I would like to see the Dallas Cowboys make after a terrible Week 2 loss against the Saints. So what change or changes do you want to see the Cowboys make after just 2 weeks of the season and some of the same issues showing up that we've seen previously? Let me know in the comments of today's show. First change, let's play your best linebacker. Get DeMarvion Overshown out on the football field. This doesn't make any sense to me. We watched DeMarvion Overshown play great against the Cleveland Browns. He had 11 tackles, he had a sack, he had a TFL. He showed real speed at linebacker, which you don't really have right now. Like, you needed him out there. He was awesome. So what'd you do in Week 2? You played him 30% of the time. He had 17 snaps per next-gen stats. Kendricks is your play caller. It's fine. Why are Damone Clark and Maurice Leafau doubling up on the snaps? Why? I get that I get that their base package is Damone Clark, Maurice Leafau, Eric Kendricks. That's wrong. We've seen games. Like, Overshown wasn't great against the Saints either. Leafau was outright bad. He didn't fit the run well. Damone Clark gets got by every motion and play action play ever. He still can't process it. It doesn't make sense to me. DeMarvion Overshown needs to be in your base package. The dude's averaging like a tackle every 4 plays, and they're normally in good positions, by the way. Not super far downfield. Let's not galaxy brain this. Let's put your best linebacker out there on defense and let him go make plays. Sit Clark, sit Overshown in base packages. I don't care. Rotate him. If DeMarvion Overshown isn't your second or first leading snap getter at linebacker next week against the Baltimore Ravens, when you need that speed against Lamar Jackson in particular, I don't know what we're doing out there. So do you agree with me? Should the Dallas Cowboys play DeMarvion Overshown more? Y for yes, N for no. Let me know in the comments section of today's, with the pinned comment in particular, which if the ad comes here on YouTube. Number 2, Jalen Brooks, I'll see you later. Ryan Flournoy, get your butt in here. Look, I get there's special team stuff involved here and whatever. Maybe Bones Fossil really likes Brooks and he's like your second snap getter on special teams. I don't care. I can't put Jalen Brooks out there on offense and expect good things to happen. He had 4 key plays against the Saints. Number 1, they ran the reverse to Brandon Cooks, because as we'll get into, they can't run the ball normally, and Brooks blew a block. Cooks is going to get to the edge. He's going to get a positive gain, maybe even score, and Brooks destroys it. And it's a 3-yard loss instead of a 13-yard gain. The interception that really kind of sunk your chances, as small as they were in that game, when you were down 28-13, whatever, he runs a 12-yard deep in. It's a good throw by Dak, and he just falls down. There's no one else to blame on that play except the wide receiver. A ball's got to be out with anticipation. It is. And Brooks can't run. Just falls down. He had a 10-yard catch in the second half, and then because his coaching staff makes no sense, they're throwing a 4th down jump ball to him. Get him out there. I put Ryan Flournoy there instead. I'll figure out special teams later. I need speed on offense. I don't have enough of it. There's nobody that scares you when Jake Ferguson's out. Not even Brandon Cooks right now. Give me the speed at least, the size and speed that Brooks does not have. I don't want to see him out there. I'm sorry. I know I'm being very mean. He was terrible. He was absolutely terrible in that game. Don't want to see him again. Today's show is made possible by GameTime. If you are a brave person and want to go to that Cowboys-Ravens game, got to use GameTime because it'll save you money. GameTime has a new feature. It's called GameTime Picks. Makes getting to see your favorite teams play live even easier. GameTime Picks filters out the fluff to only show you incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The GameTime guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. So download the GameTime app today, create your account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, Create your account. Redeem code CHATSPORTS Chat Sports for $20 off. Download GameTime today. So what time is it? It's game time. Links in the comments and the description of today's show. Number 3 change. I'm not going to be mad if you don't do it. You should consider like a safety swap. Because they were bad in the first half of that game. They didn't play well. Malik Hooker, Donovan Wilson, they weren't good. They weren't good in run support. They didn't fit the run properly. They allowed a 70-yard bomb because they got outran by Rashid Shaheed when you knew he was fast. Donovan Wilson got the garbage time interception, right place, right time on an errant throw from Derek Carr, like the only throw Derek Carr missed all day because he had all damn day in the pocket. I need more here. Like, you're the last line of defense, and you weren't very good at it. I thought Malik Hooker in particular had a pretty rough day. He gets 50-50 blame on the Donovan Wilson 70-yard touchdown allowed, right? Those guys just weren't good. They weren't good. There's kind of no way around it. So pick 2 to start. MH for Malik Hooker, DW for Donovan Wilson, MB for Markquese Bell, JT for Juanyeh Thomas. You get 2. Let me know which 2 you want in the comments. All right, these last 2 changes are a little bit more big picture and frankly harder to fix. But there are 2 big ones you got to figure. I think your 2 biggest flaws right now on your team. Number 4 is your run defense. And the Saints deployed a strategy we have seen for several years now. You run outside zone, good things are going to happen. It has been this way since the Leonard Fournette game against the Bucs, or with the Bucs, way back when in that shootout game. You get to the edges, and you're going to have big plays. Look what Alvin Kamara did. 77% of the Saints' runs in week 2 were outside the tackle. Now, your DTs were terrible, and you allowed the Saints offense to get to the second level, but nobody contained the edge either. Corners didn't do a good job of it. Your edges didn't do a good job of it. And by the way, upon review, it was not as bad as I thought it was. They ran away from Micah more than they ran at him. They kind of like, when possible, took away Micah and Tank, and they had breather reps, and they ran the ball down the throats on several of those drives there. You didn't fit the run well. Your Linval was terrible in this game. Like, frankly, I almost made go get DT help part of this because your execution sucked. Like, I am more inclined for that specific game, more so than maybe some other games, to blame the way the players performed more than the scheme itself. Like, if they fit their gaps right, those runs are a lot less. I mean, they weren't coached up enough. I really thought about just putting on here, go get DT help. But I don't know who the hell you're going to get. It's September. Jordan Phillips was unplayable in that football game. Every time he was out there, he's pushed with the ball 5 yards. You owe it to yourself to search the market, see what you can get, but it's September. You're trying to find a March caliber upgrade in September. You screwed up. This is the cost you pay when your offseason doesn't add talent. You cannot win a Super Bowl. You cannot win playoff games in free agency, in the trade market. But you can lose them. And you're seeing those results right now. How many times on this show did the producer Chris and Stone, did you guys in the comments say, hey, the DTs aren't very good? We said it a lot. It was raised concerns a lot. And now you're paying the price. You tried a Jordan Phillips trade. I still am on board trying it. Been terrible. He's been worse than I thought he was going to be. Linval Joseph just is big. Like, you don't have good bodies at DT. And I don't know where you're going to find them because you missed your chance to go get the good ones. It's a huge organizational roster building flaw. That's where most of this blame lies. Not all of it, obviously. There's more blame to go around here. Look, we have the data to prove it. More subs equals more dubs, and hopefully it gets better results in week 3. So you want free Cowboys videos? Hit that sub button right now. Number 5, and again, this is going to sound very familiar to what I said a year ago. Your ground game sucks. And it's not just the backs. It's not just the offensive line. It's not just the scheme. It's kind of all of it. The Cowboys' ground game has really similar issues to the exact same stuff we saw last year. And that's bad. Because they didn't actually fix the root cause, which I think was the scheme. Through 2 games, here's your basic stats for your backfield between Ezekiel Elliott and Rico Dowdle. Both players have 56 yards on the ground. Dowdle's done it on fewer carries against more stacked boxes, by the way, if that matters. And he's forced 1 missed tackle. To put this in perspective, my friends, Deuce Vaughn, who has not been great either because the scheme does not match what he was supposed to do well, which we'll get into, has forced 3 missed tackles on 5 carries. That is the most pathetic running back stat I've ever heard in my entire life. You don't have players that can make guys miss. Here's what the Cowboys' ground game has done this year. They have 3 explosive plays through 2 games. 2 of them are by CeeDee Lamb. You've got 1 explosive run on 30-plus carries. Dog shit efficiency. Your success rate is also bad. So I'm getting bottom 10 explosive plays and bottom 10 successful runs. I'm 12th in yards before contact. I'm 30th in yards after contact. I don't have big plays. And if I'm not going to be efficient and I'm not going to be explosive, I've got nothing on the ground. And that continues to show up right now for the Cowboys. So what is your concern level in the ground game? Oh, Deuce Vaughn has got more yards after contact than actual yards. It's not great. What is your concern level? 1 to 10 in the comments section of today's show. Now, I do want to be clear. This is not just a running backs issue. I think the lack of explosive plays probably is. But you got to consider changes here. That probably means Dalvin Cook. I don't know if he's an option or not. That one has to go fully up on the coaching staff of like, do I trust them? They see Dalvin in practice. We do not. Got to trust them there. And as your roster is currently constructed, your scheme is bad. It's not a good scheme. I've called it this before, and I'll call it again with conversations with people smarter than me. This is not inside zone. This is tight zone. There's no space to run. Look at these week 2 rushing stats, obviously before Monday Night Football. Cowboys ran inside 2/3 of the time, the 3rd most in football. Obviously, then they were 27th in outside runs. They had a light box, which is, less than 6 in the box, or 6 or fewer in the box, 71% of the time. The stack box, 8 or more in there, was 4.8% of the time, which means, and this has been the strategy from good defenses for years now, don't load the box. Dare the Cowboys to run the football. And guess what? You couldn't. You were 17th in success rate and 25th in yards per carry. Facing favorable or even boxes 95% of the time. You should be able to run the ball there. You should. But you were bottom 5, bottom 6 this week in yards before contact and yards after contact. That's not good. This tight zone scheme, just like it wasn't it last year, it isn't it this year. Add some damn duo, which is the meta right now in the NFL, which, by the way, Deuce Vaughn and Rico Dowdle fit great in. And stop just running the ball up the middle every 3rd play, except for every 3rd play. There's no creativity on offense. There's none, especially on the ground. How often, outside of Cavante Turpin trickery, and the Deuce Vaughn Turpin package didn't work because it was too predictable. They just ran the package plays with no creativity. There's no motion with runs. I don't believe that your running defense or your ground game looks like your passing game. It doesn't. If there's motion, I'm going to check the stats from ESPN this week. It's pass. And it's not the snap. You run what is simple. And you can't be simple with this personnel on the ground. You have to make dramatic changes to your ground game, or it's going to be the exact same thing. You're going to run the ball for 3 yards a carry, and you're going to wonder why you have a tough time effectively moving the ball on offense.